Beckett, the author of Waiting for Godot, was born in 1906 in Fox Rock, Ireland, to an upper-middle-class Protestant family. He obtained a degree in modern languages from Trinity University in Dublin. He then moved to Paris to find his way as a writer, and he worked very closely with James Joyce, who had a large influence on his writing. His time in Paris affected him to such a large degree that he considered France his spiritual home. Beckett wrote Waiting for Godot near the end of 1948, 3 years after the Allies liberated France from Germany's control during World War II. Experts believe that Beckett was inspired to write the play by his time spent serving in the underground French resistance movement to help usurp Germans' control in 1941. The play was originally published in French in 1952, and Beckett translated it himself. The play is part of the absurdist genre, and it virtually coined the term theater of the absurd. Beckett is often known as the father of this genre. Absurdity focuses on the experiences of characters in situations where they cannot find any purpose in life, often through meaningless action and events. Characters often forget their lines and are unaware of their surroundings, but in sudden bursts return to intelligible language and thought process. Absurdity calls into question whether life has any meaning at all. The main characters of the play are Vladimir and Estragon, who continuously wait for a man named Godot, although he never arrives. Vladimir is the more observant of the two, and he often ponders why they are in their circumstances. He is the dominant one in the friendship and often asserts his control. Estragon is the more inquisitive and curious of the two. He is childlike and cannot find solutions to his problems. He is also very dependent upon Vladimir, who remarks that Estragon would be nothing more than a pile of bones without him. Two more characters also make an appearance. They are Pazzo and Lucky. Pazzo is a slave master and Lucky is his slave who leads him around on a leash. Pazzo is cruel and self-centered, and he abuses Lucky with his whip. They interact with Vladimir and Estragon in the first act while heading to the market where Pazzo plans on selling Lucky. Lucky is unwilling to interact with Vladimir and Estragon, reacting with violence when he is approached. However, he is complacent to Pazzo's orders. The last character is an unnamed boy who makes a brief appearance in each act to tell Vladimir and Estragon that Godot is not coming, but will the next day. He seems to work for Godot and mentions watching over Godot's animals. Waiting for Godot has no defined plot, but consists of random events that occur in the characters' lives as they wait. The scenes occur in an unspecified setting or time period. Act 1 begins with Estragon and Vladimir entering. Estragon is having a difficult time pulling off a boot that is too small for him. There is much banter between the confused pair as they try to pass the time. They discuss an error in the text of the Bible and the possibility of suicide as they wait for Godot, unsure of the details of their meeting. Pazzo enters suddenly in a display of power as he whips his slave Lucky to bring him to center stage. Estragon and Vladimir initially have trouble communicating with him, but they chat anyway. Vladimir is angered by Pazzo's mistreatment of Lucky, particularly when Pazzo commands Lucky to dance. The conversation and action rises, only to be brought down again by the resignation on part of the cast. Lucky spews much gibberish at the characters, showing how scattered human thinking is. They are horrified by his performance, and Pazzo exits with Lucky. A boy then enters and says that he has a message from Mr. Godot, saying that he will not come in the evening, but he will come tomorrow. Act 2 occurs at the next evening in the same setting. Estragon and Vladimir resume waiting for Godot and partake in conversations and activities similar to those from yesterday. Estragon once again fumbles with his boots. Vladimir sings a song he has trouble remembering, and Estragon is upset with him for behaving as if he were alone. They discuss their feelings and resolve the conflict by agreeing they are happy. Vladimir recalls the previous day, but Estragon does not remember Pazzo, Lucky, or how they contemplated suicide. They tried to imitate Pazzo and Lucky, but the conversation falls short. Pazzo and Lucky return and lay in the heap on the ground, unable to lift themselves. Estragon and Vladimir fall too. They lay there motionless. The conversation in the second act is brief and insignificant to the plot, much more so than the first act. Estragon exhibits more aggression, and Vladimir questions his thoughtless existence. The boy enters with the same message from Godot that he brought the night before. Vladimir and Estragon consider hanging themselves and decide that they will tomorrow if Godot does not come. They finally decide to leave, but the play ends with them sitting on the stage, motionless. Waiting for Godot is a great play to read because its language is easy to understand and the plot is pretty straightforward. It's a quick read because of the short dialogue format. The dialogue between Estragon and Vladimir is similar to a conversation with friends. It's also often quite humorous because of the quirky interactions between the characters, the seemingly random nature of their actions, and the confusion of figurative and literal meaning. Most importantly, the play's message is so vague in that it's open to individual interpretation, which allows for many different ideas to form. When first read, Waiting for Godot seems to be a story with no plot or significance. However, the randomness of the characters' actions and the storyline speak an important message about the purpose of life. Sometimes, life has no purpose at all.